Welcome to our few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos, we have the privilege of reading Parshas Ekev, which has in it, of course, the entire second paragraph of the paragraphs of Shema that we say every day, the paragraph of Ahoya im Shamoa. I'd like to focus, for the purpose of our video today, the pasuk that's at the psukim that are at the beginning of Perek Yud, which has some very interesting things happening, and not always in the order that they were meant to be. Let's take a look. It says at the beginning of Perek Yud, Ba'es hahi, at that time, after the first luchos were broken and Hashem forgave Moshe and the Jewish people, Omar Hashem Elai, Hashem said to me, similar to the language that is used in Parshas Kisisa about the first set of luchos that had the Aseres HaDibros, Psol lecha shnei luchos avanim kadishanim. Carve out for yourself. Make new two luchos avanim, two tablets of stone like the first ones. Va'alei elai hahara. And Hashem commands Moshe to come up to him to the mountain. And then the pasuk ends with the words, Va'asisa lecha Aron Kodesh. And you should make for yourself a tabernacle, an aron, an ark of wood. What am I going to do with the ark? As the pasuk in Bei says, Beis and Gimel, ve'echtov al haluchos, and Hashem says, I will write on those tablets es hadorim asher hayu al haluchos harishonim asher shibarta, the same Aseres HaDibros, practically speaking, that were on the first set of tablets that you broke, the samtom ba'aron, and then you are to place them in the ark that I told you to make. And the pasuk in pasuk Gimel then says that va'as Aron asay shitim, and I made an ark of shitim wood, va'efsol shnei luchos avanim karishonim, and I indeed hewed out from rocks and stone two new tablets like the first ones. Va'al hahara, and I went up the mountain. Usnei haluchos biyadi, and the two tablets were in my hand. Vayichtov al haluchos, and Hashem wrote on the tablets kamichtov harishon, just like the first ones. Eis haseres hadvarim asher diber Hashem elechem bahar, the 10 things which Hashem spoke to you at the mountain, mitoch ha'esh, from the midst of the fire, biyom ha'kohol, in the day that we gather there, vayitneim Hashem elai, and Hashem gave those tablets to me. Now here comes pasuk hey, va'efen, and I turned, va'ered min har, and I went down from the mountain, va'osimes haluchos ba'aron asher asisi, and I placed them in the ark which I had made, vayi yusham, and they were there and left there, ka'asher tzivani Hashem, just like Hashem commanded me. Now, if you take a look at the Rashi in the first pasuk of this perek that we read, Rashi comments and makes mention of the fact that the procedure was not exactly as Hashem commanded. The Rashi says that when it comes to the luchos and the aron here, at the end of 40 days, Hashem forgave me, and he said to me to make the two luchos, and then va'achakach va'asisa aron, and then you should make an ark. Va'ani, says Moshe, asisi aron tchila, I made the ark first, because kisha-ovo v'haluchos biyodi heichon etneim. Because when I come down the mountain and the luchos are in my hand, where am I going to put them? So Moshe made the ark first. Hashem said that, psol luchos shnei luchos avanim kadishanim, you should make two luchos, and at the end of the pasuk, v'asisa lecha Aron Kodesh, and you should make for yourself an ark of wood. But that's not what Moshe did. He first carved out the luchos. Hashem wrote the words on it, and then Moshe made an ark. And at the end of Pasuk Hey, it says, and I turned and went down from the mountain, and I put the luchos of the Aron, asher asisi v'yiyusham, which I made, and they were there, they were placed there. And then the pasuk ends, kasher tzivani Hashem, the same way Hashem commanded me. What do you mean the same way Hashem commanded me? Hashem commanded you differently. He commanded you that the first thing you should do is carve out the luchos, and then you should make an Aron eights. But what you did is you made the Aron eights, because where are you going to place them if you don't have an Aron to put them in? And so I made the Aron first. And it seems that is kasher tzivani Hashem. That is what Hashem really wanted. What is it that Hashem said, and what is it that Hashem wanted that Moshe understood from the way Hashem commanded it, that these second luchos had to have a place to be in order to be forever? And there are many different explanations. Rav Shamshon Hirsch so beautifully explains that this was a hint to Moshe from the very get-go that these luchos were not to be destroyed, but they were to remain forever. That's one interesting pshat. But let's think about this. Moshe said that I want to make the Aron first, because where am I going to put them? They need a place to be in order to exist permanently. And when the first luchos were given to me, there was no permanent place. And therefore, it had to be placed as the end of Pasuk Hey, V'asim es haluchos ba'aron asher asisi. And I placed them in the ark which I made. And maybe in addition to all the beautiful pshatim, the Ramban and others who speak about this unusual phenomenon, is saying to us, and I placed the luchos in the Aron asher asisi, that I made myself. Moshe realized that every Jew has to take these luchos and to take the word of Hashem and not just put them in a box and not just place them in the Aron. We have a beautiful Aron in shul. In all our shuls, every Aron is the highlight of the furniture that is in the shul, in the Beis HaMikdash, in the Mishkan, in the Mikdash Ma'at that we all have. But perhaps, most importantly, the luchos have to be ba'aron asher asisi, in the Aron that I make, that each Jew makes in his heart and her heart, a place for Hashem's commandments, a place where they will remain forever and never be destroyed, where they will become an item of treasure, something to hold on to admire, to live by, to pay homage to, and to recognize the great gift that Hashem gives us by giving us the words of His Aseres HaDibros and all the ideas that are encapsulated and ensconced within the Aseres HaDibros, the Ten Commandments. And maybe, even though Moshe said, Hashem, you told me to do this by, making an Aron after I am Psal Lecha, but I understood what you really wanted. And we know, and Hashem said that this is so, because at the end it says, Kasher Tzivani Hashem. This is really what Hashem was commanding me. And He's asking us to take the initiative and make the Aron in our hearts, that it will never be destroyed. It will always hold on to the concepts that are ensconced and evaluated within the Aseres HaDibros. And so it's not a change that Moshe came and did something different than Hashem wanted. On the contrary, this is exactly what Hashem wanted, that they should last forever and they should be permanently engraved within our souls the words of the Aseres HaDivros that take the Jewish people throughout all their history. One of the great truths of the existence of our Torah is the eternal history from parent to child, from Rebbe to Talmud, spanning 3,000 years, that we each in our hearts, the Osisi, Aron Eitz, and I made my own Aron within my heart, within the heart of the Jewish people, and I placed in them the Torah that is the eternal teachings of Hashem to the heart and soul of every Jew. What a beautiful idea from Parshas Ekev that is hinted to by this very unusual Rashi that points out the great gift that Moshe gave us by saying, Kasher tzivani Hashem, this is really what Hashem commanded me. Wonderful, wonderful explanation that we can take and put into our neshama and carry it with us. We are the Aron, and we are the ones that have to carry it with us all times. Our faith in Hashem, our loyalty to the principles of the Torah, Kasher tzivani Hashem. I want to wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat Shalom and Baruch. Parshas Ekev should bring us that much closer to our Kodesh Baruch Hu as we celebrate the times of the giving of the Torah that is eternal for all the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom u'Mevarach.